and welcome to the Salty Boys podcast.
I thought you were making a reference to
Gladiator.
He's rolling another dice.
Yep, that's good because that was a 1.
Oh, Seamus McTavish! I got the deal for you!
There's only one way to sign a contract with Seamus.
I'm already rolling athletics.
The Salty Boys podcast.
That's whatever.
All right, let's roll that back.
All right.
And that's how I lost my second penis.
And welcome to the Saltmarsh podcast.
Alright, you did that on purpose this
The
time.
Salty Boys podcast is the name of our podcast. And
Salty Boys salting the marsh with salt and pepper salt marsh. Boys. I like salt.
we sadly have a player sitting out today. However, we'll go ahead and introduce characters like we always do because we always remember to do the character introductions.
Especially when we have new players.
Exactly. So
Not that one time, but we won't mention that one time.
So
At
starting,
band camp?
No.
starting to my
Yes.
left, working clockwise, we'll start with Mikhaas.
This is McHaas playing the captain.
He's pointing to himself because you can see that at home.
I actually had to figure out which way left was in relation to our DM.
That's all right. Not a problem for our captain in charge of navigating the ship.
It's only a problem with the player.
I'll starboard and port to dear old Captain Fargus.
That's true. This is Simmons, and I am playing the late Francis Balf.
This is AR. I'm playing Big Nick and also trying to figure out why there's a buzz in our audio.
Yeah.
There's a bee in my headphone amp.
There's a bee in the Bee movie as well.
There's only one. Don't let them fool you. The other bees were actually actors.
No.
They hired crows to play bees.
Oh boy.
Wow.
The deep lore.
And finally, to the last left,
I have 2 thumbs and I am crunk.
And your character is?
Oh yeah, Mark. From Boston.
He pointed out that he has 2 thumbs because in previous days he's had 3. He cut one off today at work.
Yeah, sadly.
And that's how he lost his 3rd thumb. Wait, that don't work.
He's a polydactyl cat, actually. This entire time, Mock has been played by a cat.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is why he's so brutal. Cats are renowned for their fierce ferocity.
Fucking hate cats.
Fierce ferocity. There you go. All right.
It's okay,
So-
we can disown him later.
Where we left off last week was sailing into the sunset. However, spending a night on the water on your way back into Saltmarsh. A new dawn breaks as you bring your ship with some ill-gotten gains into the port at Saltmarsh. What's your plan? What are you doing?
We've got the contraband stashed in your handy little bag, right, Big Nick?
My bag of holding.
Yeah.
Feet. Francis.
Gotcha. So I think we definitely need to regroup and figure out, okay, what are the order of events we're doing? Because I know we discussed.
Oh, wait. No, the cargo's in the boat. I took it out of the bag.
All right. You should probably go into the bag before we make port.
That can happen.
Okay. Cargo's in my bag.
Yeah.
Cool.
With
It's a tight fit. Do you take Francis out first?
No.
No, he's in there with everything else.
That's okay. When you go to take something out, you just think of what you want to take out and you can take it out. So it's not like a true space where you he's not gonna get smashed.
Mark is
Well, that's disappointing.
I know it wasn't your intention.
I was half expecting him to come out as a meat pancake by the time it was ready for something to happen, but who knows?
It's like a cartoon. You just blow into his mouth and it's just...
Yeah. So before we get started there, we're gonna cut to a cloudy vision of golden light, harp music, a feeling of nostalgia kind of floats through the air. Francis, you open your eyes and there's no pain. You don't feel any fear or anguish or terror. You don't really feel much of anything except this feeling of nostalgia, belonging, and comfort.
And straight up confusion. Francis has no idea what's going on right now.
So, out of the clouds emerges a female figure that you're familiar with in robes. She has golden hair, pointy ears. You know her to be your mother.
Mom?
She says, "Son, I'm so glad to see you. It's been so long. I've missed you."
Mother, what are you to be doing here?
My son, I perished. Do you not remember? Do you not remember me?
I mean, I am to be remembering you. I am not to be sure when this happened.
Shh, my sweet summer child. There's only one thing you need to know, for our time is short. You're right. Did I get you a summer child?
Summer child.
Yeah. So she strokes a warm hand on your cheek. She says, "Our time is short, but a man will have a mission for you, and he will help you avenge my death. There is only one thing responsible: the moon." And sort of with a quick shock, we'll be jolted awake to where you will be shortly. So, the boat folk. What are you up to?
Well, Mock is going to make mention that he is a cleric of this certain temple in town of this certain god, and the high priest is whatever.
Yeah.
Might be able to do something for the pancake and
If you want
his
to
bag.
take his body out of the bag and make a beeline, if you're doing that, you get fast pass privileges.
Okay, yeah, because time is of the essence whenever it comes to meat pancakes.
Correct. Very true. So you grab him out the bag, and you're booking it to the temple. We'll jump to that in just a little bit. The rest of you still on the boat. So the two of you still on the boat. You have some ill-gotten gains, and there's a port authority that you have to check in with. So there's also, you completed a quest, which you can report to the town council, and you'll be rewarded for. So what do you want to do first?
We have lots of things to do.
So Mock, you said, sorry, I was trying to fix this buzz, but you said Mock took Francis to the temple, and also Port. We're going to retcon that since he's not here. Daffrin.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
He calls
That's
him
right.
Port.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I was-
Daffrin's invisible for the purposes of this session.
Yeah, so we've got...
It's one of those Dark Souls followers when you join someone else's server.
Right.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit to cover, so we got to figure out what Prime Water's doing with all this contraband. We also got to check in with the council, let them know that the ghost situation is, I guess, taken care of.
Big
Then,
true.
Captain has some bones to pick with a couple of the politicians here in town as well. So I'm thinking the captain right now is going to delegate Big Nick to report into the council, as well as see if he can find the best price for the contraband. Because I'm thinking he wants, if we can sell this shit off for a fat profit, we can get Prime Water in our pockets and get a fat stack to boot.
So I'm doing both reporting and selling.
The captain has the utmost faith in your capabilities.
I'm scared.
So, I'll do you one better. Rather than the town council, you going to the town council, it appears that the council has come to you.
Oh.
At least Ada, Anders, and Jellin Primewater have all... So Ada Oland, Anders Solmore, and Jellin Primewater have all come to the dock upon hearing of your arrival. Enough time has passed that they've come out, and Ada holds a sort of hefty sack of gold in her hand with a smile on her face.
Just what I like to see in the morning. A lovely lady grasping me big, hearty sack.
Brash comments aside, I suppose gold for a job well done, and she'll toss the bag to you.
He's gonna catch it, kind of jingle it around. He's gonna try and guesstimate how much is in there just by how much it's shaking.
Feels like 200 gold.
Feels like 200 if I've ever felt one, lads.
Even though there's only one lad on the ship.
Yeah. So
Oh, actually, there's not. What's this hobgoblin doing?
he's not doing anything unless you tell him to.
Shit, we probably should have him go with Mock, because Mock can speak goblin now.
Yeah, well,
At
enough.
least 6 words.
Jellin Primewater is the first to notice, and he says, "You got a stowaway?"
Aye, something like that. More of a prisoner of war, I suppose.
He was in the house.
Yes, tried to make fast work of us, but obviously we were quicker.
We have a lot to catch up on. You should come ashore and check in any goods that you have with the Port Authority. We have much to discuss.
Aye. That we do, lad.
Okay. So, what's your plan for getting these illicit goods through?
And we've already got them in the sack. I'm gonna check the bag of holding.
Yeah. So as you go to walk by, they're going to need to be inspected. So, if you're making some kind of, are you planning on palming it? Are you planning on hiding it?
Ooh, we don't have much time to, I guess, think this one over.
No, okay, so they're inspecting us as we walk in, basically.
The Port Authority is, yeah. So like they say we'll meet at the empty net. It's your watering hole.
How many people are in the Port Authority? How many people am I being investigated by?
Like
right
5 dock workers. There's like 1 main inspector and then like 4 workers who are like going over. You can say that into the microphone.
No, I'm dead. I'm not supposed to be.
So the dead guy just said,
Tabletop rules aren't.
You can be dead on
Okay,
mic.
so
put the bag of holding
as
up your
not
ass.
Francis, I am going to suggest that you.
The ghost of Francis passed.
Very nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to personally suggest that you take the sack and you shove it where the sun don't shine in hopes that they don't do a deep cavity inspection.
Yeah, but Big Nick just doesn't. He doesn't like putting stuff up his butt.
Okay.
He's pretty big, so he could probably fit that whole bag.
I could swallow it for one thing, but so there's 5.
All right, Captain's knee-jerk reaction is going to be to like kind
Yeah, time is ticking.
kind of grab the satchel of the bag of holding
Yeah.
and kind of put it inside of it, kind of like definitely try to hide it inside of his hobgoblin friend's armor.
Yeah. Make a sleight of hand check for me.
Bitch, we got sleight of hand for days. Bruh. That is a 20.
Okay.
Dang.
Very good. It appears that the port authorities do not see or inspect this sack, so you are good. We're gonna cut to the Temple of Prokin. It's been a couple hours. Rather than negotiating price and terms, they know that you're gonna strike a deal. They've revived Francis. You know more details right now, but Francis, you awake and there's a few sets of eyes looking over you. One set belonged to Mock, your traveling companion. One belonged to the High Priestess of the Temple of Prokin.
Okay.
And the other belonged to a stranger, an elf that you have not met before. He looks at you with concern, but with kind eyes. He looks over at Mock and says, I think he's going to make it. Mock, you know this is the patron who has donated a significant sum of gold to ensure that Francis has been revived.
Mock looks down at him and he said, well, it seems you get another chance to die an honorable death in battle and make it last.
So Francis is very confused at this point because he has a little bit of whiplash from the incomplete statement delivered from his late mother that he did not realize was dead.
Right.
So he's a bit shell shocked right now. He's not going to be saying a whole lot.
Right. The elf sort of looks over and puts an arm gently. You still feel the warmth of your like mother's hand on your cheek, and his cold touch kind of jars you. He says, "Francis, you look like you've seen a ghost, but I need to introduce myself. My name is Orphinwell. It's a pleasure." And he reaches to kind of like shake your hand.
I go to shake his hand back and just kind of retract.
Accidentally miss and accidentally cup his breast.
Yeah,
No. Francis at this point is like very so much on edge.
Yeah, understandably, you're like laying on a stone slab in a strange place. The High Priestess says, "Mock, you did well. He was here on time, and with the patron's money, it will go to the reagents, and a significant donation to the church will do some good."
And then, of course, Mock looks at her and says, hopefully we won't need your services again.
If you do, we're here. It's not an inconvenience.
And then, how mobile is the newly undead guy?
You feel a little sore, but you're good.
Yeah, no. For the most part, it's a familiar pain, save from one of his past explosions that he's been involved with. So he's just fine.
So then, Mock is gonna he has a newfound respect for Francis since, he did die in battle, even though he's not dead anymore. He's going to help him up, and then we're going to try and make our way back to the captain and Nick.
Yeah. Orfingwell sort of looks after you as you start to leave. He says, Francis, I hope that you can join me for a meal sometime. I have much I want to discuss with you of pressing importance.
Francis nods and just immediately just gets close on Mock's rear and just follows him out.
Whoa.
Coming out a bit strong.
Close, Francis. No, he is quite literally latched onto your arm at this point.
Okay, yeah, which happens to be convenient as you four meet up in the street outside of the Temple of Broken. You have business, I believe.
Welcome back to the land of the living there, Francis.
Come.
He kind of salutes you unironically.
For once. The first unironic salute from the captain.
He's got a few of them. He
Yeah.
saves them for a rainy day.
I like it. Had to iron that one, straighten it out. So, I believe you wanted to see... Who did you want to see first?
His captain's got a laundry list of people he wants to see. Right now, he wants to check up on Eggplant Boy. He wants to see how he's doing.
I think Nick was going to suggest that, actually, so...
Yeah, pretty close to the docks, and you're already there. So, you can find... Do you remember Anton Aubergine's mother?
I don't think we met his mother.
He mentioned
correct.
her.
Yeah, so you didn't get to meet her, but
Her name was Adelatha.
that's absolutely right. Yeah. So
I edit the podcast.
so Adelatha Aubergine works as a dockhand.
Okay.
So you know that's close by. Obviously, you know Anton usually works at the Empty Net. However, given that you told him to go back, there's a good chance that he's probably at the docks instead.
So that's where we're going to go.
Yeah, Adelatha's shop is a small Teamsters union, just used for contracting out work when there's lots of cargo to move in and out of Saltmarsh. You walk in the saloon doors, and Adelatha is a half-orc foreman. She has short golden hair and blue eyes. She cuts quite the imposing figure compared to her, air quotes, son, Anton, who is sweeping in here. His arm is bandaged up kind of loosely, and he's kind of struggling to grab onto the broom. He goes, "Captain, oh, it's good to see you.
Aye, Eggplant lad, how's the nub treating you?
It's been better."
Aye, but the memories of being a hero, those will fade less quickly than your scars will.
Pause. Quick in-game aside. Is his voice intentionally different, or you just don't feel like being so squeaky?
Was he squeaky?
He didn't have he didn't have the English accent.
Well,
his
I
voice
thought you
was
were
much
making a
higher.
reference to
Gladiator.
no.
Once again, yes. Always a gladiator.
Every
No, I thought you
podcast
were-
is a reference to Gladiator.
I thought you were making a Monty Python reference there. I go better.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were doing that on purpose.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to be consistent with my accents.
Okay, that's
Thank
fine.
you.
I was just gonna say, ooh, this foreshadowing because his voice
Voice
dropped.
dropped. Maybe I was doing something there.
And so did his testicles.
So not only did his hand
only-
drop off,
it
but
only
so did
takes-
his balls.
It only takes an amputation for puberty to hit.
I didn't mean to derail that entire conversation, but I just wanted to make
Captain's
sure
about to derail it. It's all good.
Speaking of derailing,
we're going, boys. We won't need any rails.
yeah. So
Get the boat.
Adelatha actually speaks up. Captain Flint Fargus, is that you?
Who's asking?
Adelatha Aubergine, leader of the Teamsters Union in Saltmarsh.
Aye, found the right dwarf.
When you say dwarf, you hear this scurrying of hard nails against hardwood, and scrambling around the bench is a fire drake. It's a small, sort of low to the ground, dachshund-sized salamander with dark green scales with a red plumage, and it scrambles around. It's just Focha, and she grabs a boarding axe and throws it at the ground near it, and it yelps and then scurries back behind the. Forgive my pet. I got it recently and haven't had time for obedience lessons.
Wait, is Adelatha secretly middle name Mulan?
Oh, yeah, I did. Sure.
That flew way over his head.
Yeah, I did. I didn't get him. Wow. Yeah, it's
Flew
not
way
my
over the
issue.
wheat fields there.
Yes. Forgive Vocha. I got it in a trade. I'm sure you know how these things go. You win something, you don't really understand what's all involved in caring for an animal like this.
He kind of looks over at all of his crew and he's like, "Have you seen the company that I keep, lass?"
Quite a lot of exotic pets you've got,
Aye, exotic. That's the word for it.
including my apprentice here. And she, reaches over and puts a hand on Anton, and he like smiles like a really goofy
Mommy loves me.
really goofy smile. It's like, Captain called me a hero.
The captain kind of like winks over at him and goes,
Aye, you'd best be treading lightly with this one, lass. He's likely to outrank you here soon enough.
And she says, right, that may be. Anyway, I have some information that might be of interest to you, particularly a shipment that I think may require some of your attention if you have the time.
You have me attention.
She says, perhaps we have a. And she covers Anton's ears with both hands. A more clandestine meeting.
Aye, I see.
She says, and she takes her hands away. Someone of ill repute is taking advantage of above-board trade in a way that I think is not only undercutting my business, but is against the code of conduct here in Saltmarsh.
I'm nothing but a man of conduct, lass. Give me some more details.
Well, I don't want to name names here, but I can give you some details on a ship that's inbound this week. I want you to intercept a particular few packages on board and take them to Ada Oland. She will see that they get where they need to go. Everything all right?
No, there was a police car
I heard the
drove by.
siren, yeah.
I was like imagining that being in game because we're at the docks.
FBI, open up! Yeah, so
Here, I got my gun!
she gives you some more information about the boat you'll need to be looking for, and she tells you that the shipment is illegal reagents that are not approved for Saltmarsh, as well as some other things that may be mixed in. But the big thing that tipped her off was that they were illegal magical reagents.
Captain's curious why she's mixed up with Ada, of all people.
Yeah, so she tells you that Ada often gives her information. She's a contractor for her sometimes. That as Ada's the largest, she has the most amount of boats. That obviously she is contracted out to her boats most of the time. So they have a good working professional relationship.
Captain kind of twirls his beard a little bit. He's like,
I'm gonna need a crew of considerable clout to handle an operation such as this.
So Francis walks up to the captain and says, Captain, if I may, I would like to ask a question.
Ask away, lad.
He looks over at the wonderful woman in front of us. Ma'am, you are to be saying you do not want these reagents in the city. Do you have any particular desire what happens to them?
They're illegal. They need to be disposed of, and I know that Ada will get rid of them. They'll disappear.
Understood. If we could see through to the disposal of said reagents, would that be of any benefit to you?
I'll be honest here. I'm not quite. If I was looking for a quest commission, I don't have any money to offer. But I suppose what happens to them isn't really of consequence. But it's illegal. It doesn't need to be here.
Understood.
That's my concern.
So then Mock kind of looks over at her and says, if you're not looking to pay, what do we get out of this?
She says, I don't know. I'm giving you information for free, which is
then he
normally more than I do for most.
Kind of
but-
looks at the captain and raises an eyebrow.
Captain kind of like smiles at Mock and goes,
Easy there, lad.
like,
I'll be taking the job. I'll be discussing the specifics with my crew here. Do you have a time frame about when this particular shipment is said to arrive?
It's the middle of the week, so like Wednesday, basically. So, and it's beginning of the week. So you have time.
Do you think Ada would be in the ship providing me mood if we were to accept this request?
She may have more information and resources for you.
Perfect. That's my next stop.
She also has a vested interest in making sure that Saltmarsh stays above board and legal and safe.
I'm sure she does.
Right. So she says, I bid you farewell, and it's a pleasure to meet you all. And thank you for taking care of the boy.
Kind of pats him on the back and goes, "Nah, lass, it's this boy who's been taking care of me." And then he kind of walks off.
Aw. Can I come? Can I come with you? He shouts after.
That's your mother, boy.
Yeah.
He beat me to it.
Yeah, you can go.
All right.
Yeah,
You have 2
it's coming on.
followers.
Yeah. Speaking of which,
So now DJ Skinny Penis has to voice 2 characters for us every
yeah,
single time.
except for that hobgoblin who doesn't speak common.
True. But
Yeah,
you
it's-
wait,
Now
have
you
to
have to
grunt
speak
and goblin for
hobgoblin,
us.
yes.
Yeah, so he's like following you around.
And he is tied up too because we did bind him.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So
His hands at least are bound.
yeah, his hands are bound.
So
And
at some point there will be
he has a cock ring on too.
yeah. Some
We
guards have
tied
been
that on as well.
some guards have been dispatched to meet you, and as you walk out of the Teamsters Union office, 4 guards say, "Is this the prisoner retrieved from the house?"
I don't know about any prisoners. This is our new friend here.
The hobgoblin
Yep.
from the house?
From the house.
They said prisoner of war. And
I don't know what war's going on.
the lead one, give me a deception check.
I like how the captain's just letting him run with this.
I want to see where this goes.
Okay. How about instead? Well,
Nope, it's a deception check.
Okay. How about a 7?
Yeah, so they're like, no, they roll out like a perfect, like 1-for-1, like sketch of the hobgoblin and like hold it up to him, like, yeah, that's him for sure. And they're like, well, we're taking him to ask him some questions, and you can come see him if you have more business with him. He'll be in the jail.
Big Nick's bag of holding is still in the hobgoblin. So
Oh, you want to like
Yeah.
grab that real quick?
yeah, but also I also don't want my hobgoblin buddy to go away. But
What's your
you want me to roll
priority?
you want me to roll a sleight of hand check to get my bag back?
Yes.
Okay, because that also has like all the money that we got from the place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is -2. Do it for the crits.
I believe in you.
That is an 11.
You believe. So you do get the bag. It doesn't like drop on the ground or anything. So you know proficiently like hand the bag off as he's being grabbed by the guards. They appear to be distracted, so maybe they just didn't see. So they take him away and say, again, he'll be in the jail if you need him. We're just gonna ask him a few questions. He's gonna spend the night. Have a good day. And they turn and leave. Okay, so yeah, you guys are free to go wherever you want.
Okay, so I don't know if anyone else at this table remembers, but Big Nick had one priority this entire time.
Yep.
The only reason we committed to this quest in the first place.
Yeah.
Does anyone want to fill in the blanks here?
He wants to have a concert.
Yes, we're going to have a concert on the gallows.
Did he learn how to read sheet music in the last 2 episodes?
That was also what I was going to ask
Talk about
about.
that in deep lore.
If we can roll for that sheet music later, not now, obviously, because
Yeah.
Big Nick's first priority is to get his butt back to the council to talk to Ada about signing those release forms she talked about in the first episode.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say now, like, if you want to, like, as you're walking around, like, try to pick out the sheet music, you clip on a lyre to to your instrument, and like try to pick it out as things are going on. You're welcome to give it another shot.
Okay.
That would be a good
That's a
time to roll.
performance check, right?
Yes.
I can't believe I rolled so bad. I had +5 for performance. I got a 1. I got a 1. I crit failed.
Yeah. I probably would have given it to you if it was anything other than a 1.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That's on the floor.
She gone.
Oh, he's rolling another dice.
Yep.
That's good because that was a 1.
And what'd you roll this time?
15.
Okay, that's way better. All right. So, yeah, as you pick it out, you are thrust back in time mentally to a time that feels foreign yet familiar. And you remember it's a song that a friend taught you. And the name that comes to mind is Sabby Sane.
Hold on, was that 2 days ago?
2 days ago.
Does it go something like this?
That was foreign and familiar.
Yes, that's the one.
Big Nick can't remember the name of the song. It's what is it? Is it Couple Moons, right? Is that the name of the song? No. We're gonna leave it at that.
Some of the moons.
Some of the moons.
Some of the moons.
Both
And a
of them.
couple of
Actually-
the stars.
It's called One of the Moon.
One of the moon.
Yeah.
3 minutes, Cotton.
One of the Moon, and you remember that your friend Sabby Sane is the one who taught it to you. But other than that, it kind of leaves more questions than answers at this point. Who was that, and why did
Who was that? Somebody.
somebody once told me
The moon was gonna roll me.
Yeah.
No, it's Francis's song.
Francis theme song. Okay.
I'm waiting for Francis to finally learn what the name of this new song is.
So, Captain, you wanted to see Ada.
Yes, we do want to see Ada.
She too has an office, naturally. She's a little busy, so you're welcomed in on official business, past the secretary, and straight in. And she says, "Congratulations again on helping out Saltmarsh more than you already have. We're going over some of the information that's been given to us. So, what can I help you with?"
Aye, first of all, we've already been commissioned for our second job. I was hoping you'd be able to assist us a little bit.
Oh, this isn't council business.
Shit, what's Eggplant's mom's name? I need to write that down.
Adelatha.
Adalatha.
Appalachia.
Appalachia Bubble Breather. Bubble Breather. Adelatha Aubergine.
Eggplant's mom.
Eggplant.
Appalachia Pyrenees. That's her name.
Rumpledink. Gobbledygook.
Damn.
Is that the name of the hobgoblin?
That's a yeah. Oh, don't worry, I got a name for him.
It appears we have a mutual friendship with Adalathi Abracanash.
Abracanash.
That's abracadabra alaka shit.
Oh, Latha.
We've only just met. We're taking things a bit slow here.
Jesus, right, I understand.
It appears we're to be intercepting a shipment of some nefarious goods.
Yes, I have some information for you. And she, she rifles around for some papers and pulls out a ship's manifest for the Luna, which is the name of the boat that's coming in on Wednesday. And she says, all the cargo is accounted for, but it's marked in ways that are unusual, and the weights and balances were completely off for this vessel. So the manifest to me already indicated that something is not happening. I don't want the port authority to get involved because, quite simply, the newspapers will make a show of it. I want this to stay above board, but I need you to get these things off the streets before they make it there.
All right.
So, what do you need to know?
First of all, what's the nature of these? What's the nature of the men we're dealing with here?
Well, I haven't worked with them before. They're foreigners from the Southern Kingdoms.
Bloody foreigners.
From the Southern Kingdoms. I've worked with good ones, and I've struggled with some. So, I can't tell you what to expect. Sadly, I don't know. We have a cargo manifest, but it doesn't say. We don't know how many souls or if the reported number is true. So.
All right. What might we doing about acquiring a ship? It's hard for me to intercept without a vessel of my own.
Yes. So if you plan on intercepting, the vessel that you brought should be sufficient. I can work on commissioning another if the resources allow. At the time, they don't. We don't have the money from the council. And at the moment, my assets are tied up. However, we may be able to work something out, depending.
How much money are you requiring?
What size vessel are we talking about?
Can Mock pipe up here?
Yeah, absolutely.
So if this vessel has illicit goods and is doing illegal trade, wouldn't that be forfeit?
So the vessel that you took with you is forfeit, and if you want it, it's yours.
That's a little dinky compared to what you're wanting us to look into. And the captain needs a new ship.
Side note, can the dinghy that we rode in on fit in the bag of holding?
Fuck you and the dinghy you rode in on. I don't believe so. Just in terms of girth, there is a magic item called a folding boat that will actually. It's like a 10 by 10 boat. I am pulling up boat prices, but it is in the tens of thousands of gold, if I'm not mistaken. So it is pretty expensive.
We'll buy 10.
Put it on my credit.
Yeah, it's shit anyway. So.
I was gonna say, do you have a loan based system?
No, your credit's no good here.
Damn.
Well, it's more about who are you going to like commission to build it is the bigger issue. It's around here somewhere. I can't find it. It's in tens of thousands of gold.
What if we just commission Eggplant Boy to build one?
Do we all want to die?
A paper boat of floating.
You didn't tell me what to make of it, Captain.
It's like that scene. It's like that scene from.
Made it out of sand, Captain.
It's like that scene from Spinal Tap where they get to Stonehenge, and it's like, you gave me a napkin with crude sketches on it, with inches marked.
So, yeah, it is happy to answer any other questions that you have. But
All right, so we're in Ada's office. Are you done with Ada?
For now.
All right. So Big Nick, as everyone else is turning file and leaving, Big Nick lingers. And Ada looks at.
did you have to let it linger? Did you have to?
Yeah.
Did you have to?
Yeah.
Do you have to?
Big Nick lingers a moment and pipes up and said, "So, about my part of this whole adventure to Ada,
Yes.
because she was the one that talked to me in the first place."
Right. Your show?
Indeed.
Why don't we make it a music festival?
Nice. I love it.
I say this week calls for celebration.
All right.
I would be happy to provide some of the resources needed. However, feats are generally Jill and Prime Water's field of expertise. So for planning and other resources, I would suggest speaking to him.
All right. So you were the one that asked me about these forms I need to get signed.
Consider them done. I'll take care of them.
I like that. Big Nick was going to waste his whole downtime week running around getting people to sign.
I need a notary. Where's the
Boy, give me a notary.
Can anybody read this form?
Where's the Division of Waterborne Vehicles? I already got my
Cool.
1060.
Big Nick's ready for a show.
Yeah.
So Big Nick runs back out in the hallway and grabs Francis and says, "Francis, good old buddy, you were dead, but now you're truly about to live."
What does that mean?
Nice.
Cue like hard EDM music, like fisheye lens, like drugs, alcohol.
So France's immediate reaction is to clench.
It's good. It's a good reaction to have.
So Francis, you remember our deal that we talked about when we first agreed to do this house? My deal?
I am to be believing so.
Yeah. So the only reason that I signed up was because they were going to let us do our show on the gallows in the center of town.
I am to be understanding. I am to be excited. However, I am to be believing that there is somebody that needs to see me before we blow up the town square.
Not a problem. It's a music festival all week, so you don't have to be there except for our show.
Understood. Thank you.
I only need pyrotechnics for my own set, so.
Understood. Are you to be thinking that that your portion of the performance will be after Wednesday?
Well, it's a music festival, and the headliner usually goes last, so yeah.
Excellent. I am to be having an idea.
All
And
right.
I will need to be coordinating with the captain.
Cool. And Big Nick, wait, sorry. I keep putting my phone in my pocket because I'm an idiot.
So,
So this sounds ridiculous, but you absolutely can like participate in a music festival and do this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you split your time.
Nice. So before we get any farther, Big Nick, we'll forget about this later. So I produce
A number one hit single.
What's that?
A new hit single.
A number one hit single.
So Big Nick produces from his bag of holding the 6 golden rib bones that we took from the Skelly Bonies.
Yes.
I don't remember how much. I think you said they're like 5 gold each or something.
5 gold each. Yeah.
So 5 times 6 is 30, right?
Yep.
And I asked Francis, is 30 gold enough for the explosives for the final act?
I am to be thinking that will help. However, I am to be also having another idea. Once again, I would like to be coordinating with the captain. And as a side note, Francis is very somber about this. It's normally he would be very excited for the next big explosion, but yeah, you can tell something's up. So
Big Nick's a little too high on life right now because he
Understood.
He just got told he's running a music festival this week.
honestly, Francis is very excited for you.
And Big Nick also realizes he doesn't know any other musicians in town, so this is a problem.
Yeah. I've got something for you. Don't you worry. So you had something for the excuse me.
Yes.
Francis had something for the captain.
So Francis walks up to the captain. Captain, may I to be having a word with you alone?
All right.
So we step off to the side. So I am to be thinking. Well, firstly, there was a man in the temple who was to be wanting to speak with me. I believe I saw my mother when I was gone. And I am to be assuming that it had something to do with that. Apparently my mother is to be dead, so that's news to me. I don't know what happened. She said something about the moon. I'm to be very confused right now. Also, so I want to be making that a priority within the next couple nights whenever he is to be available, if that is to be all right with you. All right.
Captain kind of shakes his head. He's a little. He doesn't do too much with like death and family and weirdness. So
Right.
I mean, if it's any consolation, at this point, Francis he looks more shell shocked than anything else.
Right.
So you can tell that he doesn't really know what's going on either. I was to be having another idea though, in regards to the upcoming mission that we are to be embarking on. So one of the things that I remember, to be mentioned.
Top effort. Well done.
Can you roll that back one time for us?
Yeah.
He kind of trails off as he just botches the enunciation. She was to be mentioning something about mystical reagents and stuff along those lines. I am to be interested in whatever that is, so long as we can to be keeping this out of the city. I am to be assuming that nobody will care what happens to them. I would like to be stashing them somewhere outside of the city if you are not to be minding, just for something for me to work on in my free time.
To be clear, are you doing this in Ada's office?
No. I intentionally made sure that we are alone.
Okay, yeah, so you guys leave. You guys are okay.
I was the last one in Ada's office.
Cool.
Yes, yeah, no. I assumed that this was occurring after Nick pulled me aside,
Yeah.
and then I just cut up to the captain.
I just wanted to be clear. Thank you.
Absolutely not having this conversation in Boss Lady's office.
Yeah.
He's not that dumb.
Just between you and me. Between you and me, Between you and me, Captain. You're like right by the window, like her open window, and she's like looks over and like,
Hi,
all right. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that.
So yeah, that actually puts the captain in kind of a rough spot because out of all of the nobles he's trying to rub elbows with, he really wants to keep Ada happy because not only is she gonna like give him his status back, but she like has dirt on him, and she seems to be the only one who does.
And speaking as Francis, I am to be understanding that I am understanding your desire to reclaim your former glory. I want to ensure that whatever is to be happening with these items does not affect the city or anybody else involved with the crew or yourself. This is to be separate. This is just to get rid of it. I will ensure that nothing comes of these items if we are to be getting our hands on them.
The captain's probably not going to be like taking inventory of the contraband. So he, just to give himself plausible deniability, he's not going to like keep track of it.
Okay.
That's about as much as he can give you, unfortunately.
And Captain, if anything does seem to be going south, I will to be letting you know, and we will just dispose of them. I do not want to be putting anybody's lives at risk.
It's brought you a curious sense of caution, lad.
You ought to be telling me. I'm still trying to be figuring out what is going on here.
Aye, that makes two of us, lad.
Right.
So
what's next on the agenda?
So Francis does want to go back to the temple and try to coordinate with them to see if they kept an eye on my elven friend here.
Who's got the Philosopher's Stone?
I think you do.
Yeah, I think we gave it to you.
You gave it to me? All right.
Or did Francis have it?
Oh, no, you guys gutted me.
No, we didn't take your inventory.
You took
But I
the
think
bones.
we gave it. You gave me the bones because they fit in my
you had the bag.
of holding.
Oh, right. Okay, so I have
And you
the
also
bones
gave
back.
me the
We
chemical
left it back in
apparatus
the
as
house.
well.
I give you what else?
The chemical apparatus, it was worth 20 gold.
Right.
Because you couldn't fit it in your inventory.
Understandable.
If I remember correctly, you played with it, and you knew you weren't tuned to it, so you gave it to the captain, and you're like,
That is correct.
can't use it.
All right, cool. So Captain's got it. Captain wants to go find right now he wants to go find a high-level mage to talk to him about this stone.
Well, there is one name in magic items in Saltmarsh, and that is Captain
Another captain.
Captain Zendros. She's a tiefling purveyor of magic items. She isn't a she's not a mage, so to speak, but nobody knows magic items better than she does, and nobody can procure magic items or sell magic items like she can. So, if it's
Nobody can sell things like Gaston.
exactly, I'm glad you got that. So, you can identify. You can get this identified. Oh, nope, that's not that part. Sorry, it's a whole page. It takes.
Actually, this might be a good point for us to take a quick pause.
Yeah, let's take a quick break, and I'll find that.
All right.
I'll be back shortly.
I took this recording of this
What's a
kid
taiko
playing.
It's like a big, well, not a timpani, but is it the big,
it looks like a big barrel.
The big, Japanese one where they do the,
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to make that sound, but I didn't have any plugins that I didn't want to spend money on any plugins to make that sound. So I found this recording of this kid, this 10-year-old drumming on a washing machine, and I chopped it up. And I combined it with a bunch of reverb and other effects, and then I found this sample of Donkey Kong saying "oop." I drop tuned it, layered it with the washing machine, and it sounds really fucking good in context.
You know what that sounds like, though? Way too much work.
Oh, I had a blast.
well, the Donkey Kong noise is the perfect hit, because it's I guess digital, so it's
Ooh.
just ooh, ooh. Yeah, it's super short. It's super punchy, and then you have the washing machine reverb.
It's actually not a bad
Sounds
kick
awesome.
drum sample.
Sounds awesome.
By the way, I recorded that because I just wanted that story on record.
Oh, okay, great.
Because I just like starting recordings in the middle of Simmons telling stories.
Sounds great.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Fair enough. I appreciate that.
So I did my research. It's going to take the entire week to have it identified, unless you just attune to it, in which case you'll know what it is. So it takes 100 gold for the identification. That's just the components. And it takes the rest of the week for her to find a willing mage to cast Identify.
Gotcha. What's it take to attune it to the captain?
You
have to
just
shove it up
say
your
you
ass.
attune it, and then it's attuned to you. It takes an action, like if you wanted to do it in combat.
Fuck it. Let's attune to this bitch.
Okay, it's a luck stone. It means you can choose to roll with advantage once per day.
Ah,
Wow.
That's it.
cool.
That's good.
So no Philosopher's Stone, sadly. It appears given, I think the book says something like, if you tune to it and you're looking at everything, it's like, oh yeah, no, this is all fake. Like all the gold stuff is like manufactured gold stuff. It's not like an apple that
Wasn't
was
turned into gold.
correct. Yeah,
So the golden rib bones are not actually golden rib bones.
they're gold, but
okay.
it's just,
They're not
like,
real rib bones that were turned into gold.
It was spray
No
paint.
alchemy.
Okay.
All right. Well, he's also got a book about the Philosopher's Stone
Yes.
that has been he's appraised for. I have in my notes worth a lot.
Yeah. Did I not give you a solid number?
I also have porn from the captain that I'm never selling.
Yeah, I think that one was worth 5
Worth
gold.
a lot.
They were all worth the same. I think it was either 10 or 20 per book.
Yours is worth 50 gold to the right buyer. So your book specifically.
So he kind of like blinks his eyes with an exorbitant amount of panache. It's like speaking from one captain to another. Feast your eyes on this, and he kind of slides the
Shows
book over
her his dick.
To who? I'm sorry.
to Captain Zelder.
Oh,
Zendros.
Yeah.
Captain Zelda.
She nods, and she's a shrewd businesswoman. She nods her head and says, "Yep," and hands you 50 gold.
Cool. Pleasure doing business with you.
Right. Bring anything else you'd like.
He is looking through his inventory.
Speaking of which, Mock, you had a special sword, didn't you?
It swings nicely.
Yeah. That the hobgoblin was having.
Yes.
Do you want to attune to that?
Sure.
You sound unsure.
No, definitely sure.
Sure. Okay. It is a quicksilver broadsword. It is silvered for the purposes of overcoming damage reduction. So it's magic. It bypasses all damage reduction, and other than like innate damage reduction. We'll talk about that later. But once per day, for 1d4 rounds, it can take the form of any other weapon.
Oh wow.
Any weapon you choose.
Like a cannon?
Well, not a cannon.
Trebuchet?
Not a trebuchet, I guess. Not a
come
siege
on.
engine. Any one or two-handed weapon, melee weapon.
A Trojan horse?
What about a Francis? Can it turn
What
into
about
Francis?
weapons that hurt you emotionally?
Francis.
Oh, can I turn into my mother-in-law?
Yes.
Oh, I hope she's not listening to this. She's a nice lady.
She's our only listener.
She was our only listener.
We do have, as the last time I checked, which was like 2 days ago, we had like 10 subscribers, and there's only 6 of us involved in this podcast.
And I'm not one of the subscribers.
Interesting. I think we've told a couple people. Maybe it was.
Yeah,
I
but-
told some. I don't know.
Anyway.
So the captain is kind of glancing around and wants to know if the other captain, he wrote her name in quotes in his notes. Let anybody be a captain now. He's wondering if there's any like other magical like pokey things that he can get his hands on in the store.
So you can spend 50 gold to get her services as an item broker. What the 50 gold does is you get to roll twice on a magic table. So you get 3 items to offer at the end of the week. The 50 gold then goes to purchasing an item if you decide to buy one. If you see the 3 that she brings back at the end of the week and you don't like them, she keeps the 50 gold. Does that make sense?
All right. So I give her 50 gold. I give her 3 things to like magicify.
So you give her 50 gold. She sends her boats out to find magic items. That you get 3 to choose from at the end of the week of what they bring back.
Ah.
And then if you like one of them or all three, 50 gold goes towards buying those.
Gotcha. Is there any? Can I like ask her to like narrow the search results to a couple of?
Yeah, if you want one specific item, she can fulfill a request from an item with 1d4 weeks of work. Her asking price is based on rarity, but she might be willing to part with an item in return for a favor.
What kind of favor are we talking here? Sexual favor?
We're talking something extremely dangerous.
Dangerous is my third middle name, lass.
Yeah, so something that has been undercutting her business are the dwarves, run by Manistrad Copperlocks.
Don't worry, lass. We don't all look the same.
She says, no, I understand. You're not with them. You look nothing like them.
What's this fucker's name?
Manistrad Copperlocks. She represents the mining interest.
Manistrad Copperlocks.
She's on the council. You've seen her before. She is a hearty mining woman.
My kind of lady.
Yeah. So,
I sense a romance going on.
Captain Zendros believes that she represents a better interest for the town council of Saltmarsh. So she says, I can get you an item you want, but you need to get me the town council seat and get Manistrad off the council.
Captain kind of twirls his beard around. What kind of caliber of item are you anteing up for my services with this lady dwarf?
If you're giving me a specific item you want, then that's my price.
I don't know if the captain's well versed enough with like ensorcelled shit. He kind of looks at Francis and goes, "Francis,
Hi, Captain.
all right, I want me a weapon that's gonna make things explode."
Understood. So remind me real quick, what kind of weapon do you typically use?
Captain's really good with the rapier. He could also stand to like up his ranged game, but a cool ass rapier probably.
So
He gets all the bitches.
A shotgun that shoots swords that explode into more swords.
correct.
Basically.
So what immediately comes to mind is like something like Master Sword style, where you swing it, and basically a witch's bolt would come out.
Oh, like the Master Sword beam.
Yes.
Beam. Okay. So the closest thing you could get to that is a +1 longsword of returning, or if you're going for like to put it in video game terms, like the Master Sword. It won't shoot out beams, but you do throw it, and it goes phew, and like hits the thing, and it comes back.
Interesting. Captain, would that be of any interest to you?
Sounds like a strength weapon, not really Captain's cup of tea.
Well, so
You could get a
Explosive
short sword
arrows.
instead.
I was going to
would be
say
a nice
my
weapon.
first thought with the rapier is
Or you could get a rapier of return. It would have to be a +1 rapier of returning.
But what about explosive arrows?
Yeah, that's a thing.
All right, Captain's all about this rapier of returning now.
Okay. It would be +1. That would make it a rare. Yeah, that would make it a rare. So MSRP 2,500 gold.
All right, so
So that's the price.
this boomerang rapier in exchange for getting this lady dwarf off the council and giving it to the other captain.
Yep.
All right, captain's gonna like give a hearty captain handshake, but I imagine it's like a special seafaring handshake that only true captains know about.
it occurs so quickly that nobody can comprehend which is the word.
You form boats with your hands somehow, and then you like salute each other on the open
But
waves.
it's duck.
Ooh,
There's docking involved.
The captain's really
Yeah,
involved with docking.
You reach an accord.
then we have an accord. All right.
So
Feel nothing.
this shop that we're in, is it a well-stocked shop, or is it more of just a counter with the captain behind it?
This is a commission shop, so like you go in, there's a counter, there's a couple seats, and she has like a register of like people who've paid and what they're asking for. So really, this isn't the kind of business that she doesn't keep the magic swords in a bucket by the door so that anybody can grab them, like an umbrella.
So one of the things that immediately comes to Francis's mind is he wants something small, like a focus that maybe like a once a day kind of thing. It will either double or add a modifier to a spell of his choosing.
Double a spell.
Well, I know that's a lot. So like add like a D4 or D6 modifier to a spell. Basically something that just makes a spell hit harder.
So you're talking in like feat territory in terms of if you look at the elemental adept feat, that is like at level 4 you can take the elemental adept and that adds a D4 of a certain element of damage to your spell. When you cast a fireball, it adds a D4.
Right. So basically, I'm looking for like a focus of some sorts
that will give you that.
That will just enhance, but it will be like a one shot kind of thing. Maybe go with a cooldown.
You want like a burnable, like a consumable,
and more of a cooldown kind of thing. I don't want it to be consumable. I want it to be, say, once a day he can make a decision. I'm going to use this, make this thing hit that much harder, and then put it away for it to recover.
What kind of Ford Focus?
No.
Yeah.
You use it and it blows up.
So
Found on road dead.
I'm thinking about that one.
Okay. We can come back.
You want a specific item? It's going to take a D4 weeks of work.
Okay. Yeah, and he will wait.
Well, it's only going to take 1 week.
Understood. Do you have an estimated value of said item?
That is what I'm trying to determine.
Okay,
it's
sure.
Definitely not common.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be uncommon. The dice have spoken. She estimates it's going to be about 300 gold.
All right.
That's really the best you could ask for.
Yeah. Honestly, he was expecting much worse. He realizes how.
He says what you're asking for is incredibly unique. I've never heard of something like it before, but if we can find it, I'll get it.
Okay. He's going to take a gamble and he's going to try to make it happen.
All right.
That's 50 up front.
50 up front. Yep.
Okay. I am down to 19 gold.
Okay.
So that's a problem. Okay.
Can Mog get armor of not being hit?
You want to make a roll for that?
Sure.
That would be legendary, most likely.
All right.
50k GP.
We can work on that. I'll steal a ship or something.
Okay, yeah.
What do I got to roll?
Well, do you want to like have like 3 options to choose from at the end of the week, or do you want
We'll go with the 3 options.
specific? Okay,
It
cool.
sounds
So you
safer.
just drop 50 gold, and then at the end of the week, I'll give you some choices to choose from.
As long as one of those is armor of not being hit for 10 gold.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, comes in a 3-pack. Actually, everybody has it because it's so affordable. So anybody you ever fight will never be hit.
That sounds awesome.
Oh, what's sick twisted price?
Capitalism strikes again.
All right.
So if we're buying armor and stuff while we're already here, Big Nick needs better armor. Like, a lot better.
Yeah. What would you like to buy?
I don't need anything fancy. I just need something that's got better than a freaking, 2... Or I have a 9 armor class. I'd like to get that to at least double digits if we can.
Yeah. Unfortunately, as a rogue, you only have light armor, or do you have medium armor as well? Or, yeah. You have medium armor as well.
Well, if this app wouldn't stop crashing, I'd be able to tell you.
What's your dexterity?
light armor.
Light armor. So the best light armor you can get is studded leather armor.
Non-magical.
Yeah, non-magical. And that's 12 plus your dex modifier. And I believe that costs 75 gold.
Well, it's still one hell of a lot better than 9.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is your dex modifier?
-2.
Okay, that makes sense now.
So let me find that armor for you. That armor price.
Can we get him a metal cube to live in?
Armor price. Yeah, so you can... I kind of hate this because you're playing a low dex Oh, it's 45 gold. Excuse me, not 75. So 45 gold gets you studded leather armor, which is 12 plus your dexterity modifier.
That breaks double digits. It's better than 9.
Yeah. I was hoping to see. I feel like if you're wearing studded leather, like it shouldn't subtract from your, like it shouldn't go less than 12, is what I'm thinking. But
again, my dex mod is -2
Yeah,
because
like-
I made the worst character in the world and I love it.
you're a little clumsy, but like the armor's still there. It's not like you're like opening it up to be hit more. You know
so
what I
it's
mean?
actually airbag armor.
Yeah. Like,
He falls over,
So if-
the airbag pops, and he is back on his feet again.
Yeah, if you wear armor you lack proficiency with, you have disadvantage on ability checks, saving throws, or attack rolls involving strength or dex, and you can't cast spells. So they really don't want you to wear armor you're not proficient in. But so medium and heavier armors just have like heavy armors just give you a set AC. So like ring mail's 14, plate mail's 18, etc. They're a little more expensive, but not much.
Oh man, I should wear some plate.
Plate
Now-
is 1,500 gold. It's kind of expensive.
Donations, anybody?
Is are shields a thing in this game?
They are. They give you +2. They're 10 gold. And they
That's
give you
it?
+2 to your armor class. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
And there's just like one. It's just shield.
Yeah.
That's all you got.
Yep. Whatever you want it to look like.
You can't dual wield with it on though.
Sadly, yeah,
True.
it's not additive.
I mean, that would be ridiculous if I had 2 swords and a shield in my left hand.
I feel like
Or
you just duct
I
tape
would
a
want-
a dagger to your shield.
I wish you could just have 2 shields and you have +4, and then you just like 1d4, or just 1 hit point, or 1 point of damage each time you pass.
Yeah, just like fist damage.
right.
Fisticuffs.
All right. Well, how much was that studied? You said it was 45,
Studded leather is 45 gold.
and
The shield is 10.
Shield is 10.
Yep.
How many gold is silver worth? What's the conversion rate?
Isn't it 10?
10 to 1.
Is it 10 to 1?
Because I think
Yeah.
it's 10 to 1 all the way up the chain.
So yeah, we're going copper is 10 to 1 silver, 10 silver to 1 gold.
By the way, what is EP?
Electrum.
Which
We're
is
not
in
fucking
between.
with that. I don't believe in it. I disagree with it on a fundamental level.
So what you're saying is you don't believe in Bitcoin?
Yes. Yes, that's correct.
No, he does believe in Bitcoin. He just doesn't-
Electrum is the cryptocurrency of my D&D world. It's
You have to find a special ATM to.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Big Nick's gonna buy.
You have to find a special hobgoblin.
speaking of which.
So you said it was 10 gold for the shield,
yes.
10 to 1. So I have 3 gold worth of silver. That gives me 60, and I need 55 gold, right?
Total?
Yeah, 45 plus 10. Okay, yeah,
Or 45 for the studded leather.
and then 10 for the shield.
10 for the shield.
Cool. I'm gonna do that.
You got it.
Cool. So I have 0 silver and 5 gold,
Not bad, not bad.
but I now also have a shield, so I can make up for my awful dex.
Yeah. You need all the help you can get. Now, you won't be able to dual wield. Anything you need freehand for, you'll have to like stow your weapon behind.
I'm gonna
Well,
two-handed
I
weapons.
can put the shield away, right?
Yeah, it takes an action to do it.
Okay.
It takes
but
an
I
action
can-
to pull it out and an action to put it away.
I don't think we divvied up our gold from the job either.
Well, yeah, we did the gold itself, the gold and silver that we found. Oh no, not
Well,
what we
the captain
wanted.
has a
not the
giant
actual
sack of
sorry.
gold.
200.
Satchel that we got.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, by the way, Big Nick needs to sell this gold crap that I got from the
He sure
wizard's
does.
room.
Yeah, what's your? Oh yeah, you can do that pretty easy. So if you have the gold value next to it, you can sell it. You can pawn it extremely easily at value.
Anywhere, or do I have to go somewhere in that?
You don't have to go
for
somewhere
that?
special. No.
I'm gonna say we just.
I was gonna say yeah, because at this point now that I have a debt that I'm gonna have to pay, I would like to sell the chemistry set,
Yeah.
as well as all the golden bones.
Yeah, you got it. What's the debt you're talking about?
Well, I'm gonna have to owe another 250 gold here in a bit.
Right. Well, so you've paid the retainer fee. That just means she's gonna go get it, and then once she brings it back.
Yeah, Francis ain't
If you have the
smart.
money,
He
it's
thinks
yours.
that
Oh,
he needs to
he's
pay this
indebted.
immediately.
Okay. All right.
I'm gonna say we all just get 50 from the job.
Okay. So it was 200. Yep, that's a 4-way split.
Very generous for the captain.
Yeah.
I say it's not always how captain shares go, but
Okay, so Big Nick needs to get rid of this gold's, our bones and all that crap. I can just do this here at the same shop. Okay, so I have 6 golden bones worth. Said 10.
you gave those to Francis, right?
I showed it to him because he didn't have the inventory room.
Okay.
He didn't
Right.
take them because he needed to do other stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So yeah, and I'm gonna agree that we're gonna sell the golden bones as well as the
Chemical
chemistry,
apparatus.
which was worth 20 gold, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah. So each bone was worth
5.
5 each.
5. So I've got 30 from that, and then 20 from the chemical apparatus. So that's 50 total.
Yep.
So Big Nick's gonna give that 50 gold to Francis so that he can buy explosives for the show.
Cool.
Beautiful. Okay. So at this point, Francis does want to coordinate with the elf from the temple. So I don't know if we would like to make another aside before we delve into that.
So, yeah, if you go back to the temple, the elf is not there.
Right.
However, if you ask one of the acolytes, they could tell you that he departed for his shop, Orphingwell Ordnance, which is located on the outskirts of town.
Okay. Francis wants directions to the shop, and then he wants to just make a beeline out there.
Yeah, you get directions. Anybody coming along?
I'll go.
I assume pretty much everybody's going.
Honestly, at this point, Francis is going to insist that he goes alone.
Okay. Any particular reason?
He is very confused, and he doesn't want to trouble anybody else, especially since Nick has his show to prepare for,
Okay.
and Captain, Francis assumes is planning for the mission coming up.
Wait, you said Big Nick has his show.
Mm-hmm.
It's our show, buddy.
Our show.
Well,
My swamp.
Mock doesn't want Francis to die, so he wishes him luck.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, so it's a nicely built, like, it's better than a shack, but it's a hastily built sort of cabin just outside the outskirts of Saltmarsh, and with a large sign written in yellow paint, Orphingwell Ordnance.
Okay.
As you walk through the door, you recognize the familiar elf who's stocking the shelves. He turns and smiles at you. Francis, I didn't expect to see you on your feet so soon. I thought you'd maybe rest or take the day.
Honestly, I have been doing my best to clear my head. I am very confused as of late.
I understand. And I expect you probably didn't think the newest business owner in Saltmarsh would be paying for your revival fees.
Mock briefly mentioned that, and I am to be very curious as to what inspired you to do such a feat.
Well, I believe we have similar interests. And he kind of gestures to all the reagents and... honestly explosive things that he has in his shop. He says, I wasn't allowed to build in the city limits, naturally, so my clientele is limited. However, I have need of field researchers, for one, and I believe that you might be the man who would do that for me.
I am absolutely interested. Would this be a compensated position, or is this to be something... what are you to be having in mind?
Commission basis.
Okay.
So the more customers you can bring to me, the better.
You're to be looking for customers. Okay. I guess this is all that you have been looking for me. I mean, I am to be assisting you in any way possible. I have definitely been specializing in this research for the past... well, my entire life.
He says, rumor is that there's a music festival happening.
Yes,
and
that is to be correct.
I would like that Orpingwell Ordnance be the front name for the pyrotechnics for that show?
Yes, that is to be something wonderful. If I am to be remembering correctly, and Francis is just like ad-libbing at this point, but I am to be believing that we were to have gotten approval to actually be setting off our own colorful show without limit. My partner and I, we were to have been having a very unique first performance that forbade us from coming to a different establishment. I am sure you are to be understanding.
The road to success is a bumpy cobblestone road.
You are to be telling me, man.
Believe me, this isn't the first shop, and it may not be the last. But I'd like to have some staying power in Saltmarsh this time.
Yes.
I have larger plans. I have very, very grand plans for this location, and for you, my friend.
Yes, I am to be interested. I guess my only concern is to be that I will still be able to be traveling with my captain and crewmates while performing duties for this position.
He crosses his arms kind of behind his back and takes a few steps around and says, "When I say field research, I do mean field research. Safety is extremely important to me. I can't have my customers dying because of a poorly made explosive or an improperly mixed reagent. So that's why I rely on the study that you would be conducting."
I am to be understanding. As far as I am to be aware, most of the situations that we have been involved with was to be fairly isolated to very specific missions per se. So I am to be thinking we can keep things under control and damage to an absolute minimum, unless to be absolutely necessary.
He says, let's speak specifics.
Sure.
And he goes around the counter and he produces what looks to be some kind of contract. And he says, this is a lot of legalese, but bottom line is I'm going to give you 3 experimental concoctions. You do your adventurer mission, you test out as many as you can, come back, record your findings, and you get paid.
That is to be something very good. I will to be starting immediately.
Yeah, he flips to the last page for you to sign an initial.
So Francis is going to pretend to try to read through it to see if there's any big words that stand out to him.
Give me an investigation check.
Yeah. That is a 19.
Yeah, you pick out some words. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say Francis is a lawyer.
Cat. wait. Tree.
Boom.
Yeah. So it speaks a lot about incidental insurance, like liability. There's no liability transferred to Orpingwell Ordnance.
Yeah, sure.
There's kind of an what's it called? An NB.
It's basically
NDA.
If you injure yourself in the process of testing this, Orpingwell is not held liable, essentially.
But not only that, there's basically an NDA built in that you're liable if you bring up Orpingwell Ordnance when there's an incident.
That okay. Honestly, Francis gets a little bit confused when he sees that. He's like, it's probably okay. Before he signs anything, back to Orpingwell, I am to be assuming that as I am to be testing, you are to be wanting me to keep your name under the radar.
He says, I encourage you to bring customers whenever you can. And he sees the section you're talking about, or the section you've gotten to, and he says, oh, that's only in the case of an accident. That's so if, you blow up a house, it's not my fault. You're doing it.
I am to be understanding.
So that's why I can't, litigiously, I can't advocate field research on every subject.
And that was to be my concern, especially after my last incident. I am to be a little bit more concerned about the lives of my crewmates as well as myself. So in the case that something were to be going haywire, I want to just ensure that, yes, I do not speak the name of this establishment.
Yeah. lastly, you see basically like a catch-all clause at the end that just says that you will, to the best of your ability, support Orpingwell Ordinance's future projects, prospects, and future projects and prospects.
To the best of my ability. Francis is like, yeah, that just seems like an assumption that, yes, I will be helping with development and testing, mostly testing. Francis is essentially signing up to be a crash test dummy, and he's kind of okay with that.
Yeah, exactly. So you sign away.
Yep.
And he says, excellent. And he kind of folds it and takes it down into a file.
Yep.
And puts it away. It says, well, when you have an opportunity to come test them, swing by and I'll get you your experiments.
Actually, I have to been
right, the pyrotechnics for tonight.
Yes.
And he starts gathering some things up, and he says, I've done. Don't get me wrong, I've done you quite a favor in paying for your revival fees. However, this is for Saltmarsh, and he grabs a few things, and before you know it, you have a large crate of all kinds of colorful explosive.
It appears to be fireworks.
It's a big old crate of fireworks.
Excellent. I was going to say, before I'm to be leaving, would you mind me to be setting one off behind the shop? Just to...
No, not necessary. Save it for tonight.
I am to be understanding. Thank you very much.
He says, have a good night.
But before I am to be leaving, do you know of anything I can be doing to make some quick cash? I have to be in a small debt right now with another individual, and I'm trying to just make sure I'm covering all my bases.
He says, if there's something I've learned in this business, there's no such thing as a free lunch. There's no such thing as a quick buck.
I am to be understanding.
Especially in Saltmarsh.
Francis actually is not understanding at all.
That's why. So he just stands there for a second. Okay, I'm going to leave.
Yeah. All right, so yep, I guess I have a crate full of fireworks.
You do. We're going to cut to the captain. What's he doing?
Captain has a laundry list of things. He wants to take these two to go and...
Pointing works really well on audio on the podcast.
Yes.
He's going to take
really
Big
good.
Nick and Mock.
He wants the guitar and the amplifier to go with him.
He wants to take the crate of cables and the thermometer.
We've got
the empty beer can.
We've got some contraband, some incriminating evidence against Prime Water to be...
By the way, that's our band's name is Contraband.
One of you has the smuggler background, am I not mistaken?
Yeah, so what he was thinking about doing is taking the bag of holding with his ogre friend's permission and taking it to his little smuggler's hideaway and kind of seeing if there's any underground black market knowledge of these objects' disappearance.
Well, you can take me with you. I'm planning a music festival, but everyone knows that any good fire festival doesn't actually have any oversight.
You got to get the American singles for the sandwiches. Mm-hmm. You got to get the soggy bread. Anyway, that's a tangent. I don't need to go on.
We're good.
No water. Yeah. It's hot as shit.
And some chanterelles from the
so
woods.
you can grab the bag of holding to go sell this stuff. It's going to take the first half of the week. Normally it'd take a full week, but since we're doing this thing, we'll let it take half the week. I will have you roll a carousing check. The place you would go to set up a buyer would be the Empty Net, and you'll be kind of walking around using Thieves' Cant to sort of probe to see if anybody's interested in buying the kinds of goods that you're selling. So, let's see. Do you want to do that?
Sure.
Okay. Spending this time will take all the way up until the mission, if that's cool.
Let's do it.
Because everybody's going to get it downtime.
So while you're rolling, let me get this straight. The captain grabbed Nick's bag and is now probing.
He is. And now he's carousing.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Just wanted to
While
check.
holding Nick's bag.
Yes, and probing.
So it'll cost 9 gold as you buy drinks for people and try to get them to loosen up.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple fights with the bartender.
Oh yeah.
I have a meager 215 gold now.
It's quite low.
Yeah.
Jesus, I thought I was
Almost
a
enough to
swindler.
buy the whole empty net.
Right.
Honestly.
Okay. So you do find a buyer.
Is it Seamus?
It is. Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Good McTavern.
Yeah. It is a half-elf from a small village about 150 miles away from Saltmarsh.
His name is actually Francis.
Hey, Captain, we find
No
a full
relation.
elf. We could sell us for more.
My name's Francis Bolf, no relation. No, he's a warlock, actually.
All right.
But he's come to Saltmarsh. He's a trader for now. But he said he is interested in the trade goods that you have. Specifically the silk. He says he's not sure he can buy the brandy, but he can definitely buy the silk. Can you give me a persuasion check?
Yup.
Since you are spending a good bit of money at the empty net.
It's 10. Actually, no, I'm going to use my luck stone
All right.
Oh yeah.
to roll advantage on that.
All right. Feel the power of the luck
That
course
is
through your veins.
that is much better. That's a 21.
All right, yeah. So you were spending so much money at the empty net that you notice that Shamish is kind of running out of the good stuff that you're buying, and you hear him say, "Oh, I could take a bit of brandy wherever I could find it."
Oh, Seamus McTavish! I got a deal for you, lad!
Is it fisticuffs?
So yeah, in rare form, his voice seems real loud. What are you saying? Are we making a deal?
I'm saying Seamus McDoodle McTavish McNairn. I've got you a brandy right here for you.
Scotland will always be free.
And then you just like toss back a huge fucking tankard of ale.
Yeah, it's like
Right into his face.
come into me back room and
That kind of relation.
so we can make a deal.
Probing, and now he's in the back room.
Yeah. Well, show me what you got.
And he takes out the.
Fists and
he
hits him
raises
with
an eyebrow and says, I see the stamps on those casks.
Aye.
You rolled pretty well. So he's all right. I need to buy some new casks.
I'll take the.
Is his seal on all the bottles as well?
So the brandy is kept in like
It's in like
mini
kegs.
barrels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like a small keg.
Yeah, brandy cask.
So it's like burned into the wood of the barrel.
Gotcha.
So
I'm selling you the liquid, not the casks, lad, and it looks to me like you've got a lot of empty casks left to fill.
right. So he's like ponders it for a moment. He says, "All right, we have a deal," and like reaches out to shake your hand.
But there's only one way to sign a contract with Seamus.
I'm already rolling athletics.
Gotta beat the shit out of this fucker. All right, Captain got a 6.
So did Seamus. So you've seen Predator, right? Yeah. Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger, like. Yeah. Just intense manly energy is just menacing, is floating like all around.
The ceiling starts cracking and light starts pouring through.
Yeah, around you the floorboards like crack. Yeah, energy.
I
beams
just assumed from outside of this room, just there's a lot of like radiating like damp energy just emanating from this
sweaty
room.
man energy. So Anton walks in. Sir, did you want me? Not now, Anton. Okay. Yeah. So you guys make a deal. Did I tell you how much all that's worth? How much you get for that? Okay. So since you make the 2 sales,
Dang.
did I tell you how much like total you got?
Did not.
Like numbers?
I spent 9 gold.
Yeah. It's in here. I just gotta.
We talked about it last time. You had an estimate for how much it was all worth.
Yeah. So
I live for these Seamus and Captain interactions.
it's 5 bolts of silk, at least. So tally these up for me because there's going to be multiple numbers. So there's 8 casks of brandy worth 10 gold apiece.
So 8 times 10.
80.
80.
5 bolts of silk worth 50 each.
So that's 250.
Oh my lord, guys.
Oh, actually, I think I can just count on this. Wait, can I? It's 5.
Do you have a calculator in that book?
So there is 9 total bolts of silk.
So 9 times
450.
yes.
And there are 15 casks of brandy.
Wow.
10 each.
Yep.
So 150, 450, 500, 600.
Crime pays, boys.
Holy cow!
You're loaded.
You were carrying hot goods.
Hot.
You are very lucky that Shamish is a good friend and a sore loser.
815 gold.
Dang.
People.
We're in stratosphere money territory.
Francis could absolutely use a couple hundred. Captain, I need some money, Captain.
Yeah. The captain walks out of the empty net, just waddling with his pockets full of gold. You have 80 pounds of gold on you.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of fucking gold. So
Good thing we have this bag of holding.
yeah, that's true. 10 gold is 1 pound, typically. So
Mock can carry a lot.
that's good.
And
You'll
Nick,
need it.
Nick has the bag of holding.
That's true. It does all fit in the bag of holding. You want to keep it there.
All right, so that takes us straight up to the mission, right?
Yes. So that was your downtime activity.
Did I didn't do.
You have not, but it's going to be your music festival.
Okay.
So
Lisa, okay.
Were you going to do any recruiting or anything like that?
We gotta find other musicians.
yeah, you want to visit the guild hall, the Bard's Guild Hall.
Yeah, even though I'm not a bard.
Yeah.
They don't know that.
But this is your first visit to the Bard's Guild Hall. There's a reason you haven't been getting gigs. Seriously, you gotta register. So you enter, and there's a bunch of people just having jam sessions, and it's just a cacophony of like different instruments and sounds and noises. And
Sounds like work every day for me.
yeah, yeah, it's yeah. Maybe it's a little better. It sounds a little nicer. These are trained musicians.
They're all very poorly trying to play zombie. All of them.
Man. So there's a secretary there waiting for you. Says, "What can I help you with, sir?"
Well, I am the famous Big Nick, hero of Saltmarsh, and also performer of Saltmarsh. I am running a music festival called the Drowning Man Festival. Not taking credit on that. That's all DJ's getting penis right there.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that.
So we're running a music festival. I'm the headlining act. You may have heard of my famous act that got us banned from all the bars in town. And
With the exception of one.
With the exception of one, but that doesn't count as a real bar because it's the empty net, and who cares about Seamus?
And I understand that was.
I care about Seamus. No.
I understand that was the deciding factor on you not being automatically licensed as a bard in Saltmarsh.
Me not being a who what now? Big Nick has no idea what's going on because
Never mind. I apologize. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's good. No, Big Nick doesn't know he's not a bard, so this is new information to him.
Yeah. Just normally when musicians come through, we take care of the paperwork and it's put through. But someone pushed for you to not be recognized formally as a bard. Which, if you've still been trying to perform, I'm surprised anyone has let you.
Oh well. Shit.
Shit is right. I'll take you down for a licensing. I assume you have all the paperwork done for this festival?
Yes, Ada Olin's got that all taken care of.
Oh, yes. Okay, yes. I'll have our office get with hers, and we'll have that taken care of. Are you looking for other acts?
Yes, that's what I came here for.
Okay, yes. Well, there's plenty of other musicians. You might want to speak with our guildmaster. She should be in her office. She might be playing, but just look around for her. I think you'll find her.
Cool. I think Nick's gonna look around for people looking like they know what they're doing.
You look around, and we get the scene of like a group of people on the left move away, a group of people on the right move away, and then in the center of like a drum circle is a halfling with golden eyes and dark hair playing a lute, and you recognize her. You can't quite remember. And then you remember the name Sabi Sane.
Ooh.
And that's
boy,
her.
Nick's head hurts because some of the mental walls that
Big Nick's
Got to break
crush.
down those wonder walls.
I see what you did there.
I've been waiting so long. Okay, I'm back.
But maybe
Yeah.
she's gonna be the one that saves me.
Dear God.
Boo!
Today, it's gonna be the day.
It's not even Tuesday.
But then
very
they're
close.
still gonna throw it back to you.
And now throwing
By
it back
now,
to me,
you should have.
somehow figured out what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna walk up to her and
I don't believe in anybody.
She's going into his bag of holding.
Big Nick approaches the person he remembers the Sabby saying and says, Sabby, right? Do you remember me?
Of course, you're Big Nick, aren't you?
Yeah.
Sabby Sane, Guildmaster, Bard's Guild, excuse me.
Yeah, did we go to school together?
That doesn't sound familiar. Maybe?
Okay, well, anyways, I recognize you somewhere. I'm looking for performers for the first annual Drowning Man Festival at Saltmarsh.
I see.
I'm the headlining act, which was kind of the whole deal of my crew and I destroying or getting rid of the evil haunted house outside of town.
She says, love it. Love the idea. Love everything about it. Did you clear it with the Temple of Broken? Drowning is kind of their thing.
I got 2 inside men in the temple, so we're good there.
Oh, good.
And
All
I've
right.
already got paperwork taken care of by the council, the town council. So.
Yeah. Leave it to me for acts.
All right. Cool. I'm looking for a nice variety. I need some lutists and some loutists. I need some
Both
people.
of them.
I need some proficient
Flautists and loutists and...
and some people proficient in the sack butt.
So
Yeah.
what?
Historical aside, the sack butt is the ancestor of the trombone. It's a real instrument.
Yeah.
But it's just called the sack butt.
I was gonna say. I mean, I don't even want to bring up the German pronunciation of the bassoon.
Well,
Go
then
on.
Italian
You can't
one.
just drop that and not
I
say
can't
it.
say that on air.
Oh, okay.
This is a podcast. You can say literally anything you want to.
I'm not going
it's
to.
The
pronounced.
Italian one is
Penis.
pronounced fagotti.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, yes.
Alrighty. So yeah, she reaches out her hand and says, "Leave it all to me, Wunderbar."
All right, getting some sack butts and some faggots here.
And it's no longer even close to
You gotta
PC.
bleep that just for fun. That's the only thing we gotta bleep.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it just so I can.
Oh my lord.
So normally this would be I would call this a carousing roll where you would get like 2d10 and then you would get a number of contacts. Instead, because of your resourcefulness, creative thinking, I want you to make a performance roll to see how well this music festival goes.
1.
Yeah. Oh god. It's Fire Festival. I keep clipping the mic, sorry about that.
No, that's the monitoring board.
Oh, okay.
It's not clipping and recording.
Oh good. Would you roll?
3, 5. That's 8 total.
Okay. Well, thankfully, you're not the only one performing. Your own performance is a little lackluster, but
It's the most mediocre show in town.
is the first of any festival ever that good? I mean, everybody is always gonna like say it was the best.
I mean Woodstock, but who's counting?
Come on,
Yeah.
My Chemical Romance.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of acts up here. It's good. The turnout isn't as good as you'd expect. Your name doesn't have quite the staying power yet. You're not a household name in Saltmarsh, but this is your first step. So it goes well. With the help of Francis's pyrotechnics, people pay attention, and you do pretty well.
Excuse me.
I debut the new song. So what? I don't remember what we called it. Something about the moon or whatever.
Yeah, and you get
But you actually have to play it.
I'm glad you asked.
Oh no!
I also wrote a new song for our newest member of the crew.
So your opening act is done by a dragonborn who you kind of get buddy with. He really appreciates the opportunity to play. Let me get a name for you.
So while you're looking for that name,
Yeah.
I have a debut song for our newest member of the crew, who's missing a hand. It goes like this. Eggplant boy, do do do. Eggplant boy, do do
If you want him to, he can stagehand. And I don't mean stage hands. I mean stagehand. All right, everybody, let's give him a hand.
Instead of the dagger taped to his arm, now it's the broom.
You're right. He's doing his best to clean up all the confetti and like ashes of
Glitter.
Like,
Glitter.
Oh my god.
Glitter is the herpes of the production industry.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Stripper dust.
I have road cases that I did a show 5 years ago with glitter, and there is still glitter in those cases.
Oh my god.
Was it at a strip club?
Are there any shows that are not at strip clubs?
What? No.
Oh yeah, I should have been looking for that name. You distracted me. I blame you. His stage name is Sir Scales a Lot.
Oh boy.
Thank you.
I got you. It's good. It's a good thing that the only people that listen to this podcast will actually catch that reference. I don't know.
His real name is Zarskan.
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 Does that start with an X?
Yeah.
No, you put it at me.
XARSKAN.
I don't listen to the podcast, so.
Is that a Sorry.
And his stage name is Sir Scales a Lot. He's a slam poet with music. So rap. He's a rap artist.
So you said I get a not like a favor, but
Yeah, you get a favor.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's your contact. He's a pal. What else does it say? He will be unlikely to risk their lives or possessions, but he is a trusted friend and offers help as necessary.
Nice.
Yeah, so you can rely on him.
Would you also say that he has a stretch of land the size of Hawaii?
I gotcha.
No one else will.
I'm with no, you're right. It's a very niche joke.
Oh, Sir Scales a Lot. He's got a lot of scales.
Beautiful.
I wrote that song and I can't remember how to play it.
That's all right.
I was gonna call you out on that, but I'm glad you did.
Okay, so we've got a carousing. You've got your
Kaboom.
booms. What did you want your downtime activity to be?
Oh, Mock wants to go do something
Okay.
at the temple.
Okay.
He's not allowed to talk about it.
Okay.
Hey!
Can you tell me about it?
First rule of Fight Club is
Oh, that. Yeah. So, yeah. Is this a what kind of match is being held? I know you can't talk about it, but is this a money match? Is this a
well, if this was a Fight Club, he would probably bet on himself to beat somebody up.
okay?
Hypothetically speaking.
I'm gonna call this air quotes employment but you're gonna roll something different. So instead of a charisma check, you're going to make a DC 15 strength check.
I don't have a 15-sided dice.
No, DC is dice check. So is that right? Probably. Whatever. Who cares?
I do have a
just-
15-sided
I
die.
thought DC stands for Daniel Cormier.
Not
I don't-
Daniel Craig?
I'm pretty sure it stands for Russell Crowe in the movie Gladiator.
What about Daniel Craigcliff?
Dussel Crowe.
DC, I got it. DC stands for Whitney Houston. That's it.
There we go. We got it.
Okay, never mind.
So you roll your
Mock's
D20,
battle call.
add your strength. Oh. Oh, are you short one? I think you're short 1 point.
That's a 14, but what's that? Hold on. Sorry, it's taking so long. Channel Divinity, where you add +10
to
attack roll. Is that what it is? Hold on.
Is it a D10?
No, it's just
what's your war?
attack roll, it's plus 10 bonus to the roll.
To an attack roll. Okay, so this is a. Oh no, this should be. It says charisma check, so it'd normally be a stat. What's your athletics bonus? Is it more than your strength?
Yeah, it's a plus 3.
Let's say it's your athletics because that is
So
closer
that's a
to what's
16.
happening. Yeah, so you do make it. I think it makes more sense for you to make it. Let's see.
Bless you.
11, 1, 9. 21. You earned 21 gold in your money match.
Oh, thanks.
There you go. All right.
Maka's happy.
So that brings us to the seizing of the Luna ship, which we will pick up next time.
All right.
This is great because I sprayed a bunch of Natty Bow out of my nose at some point, and I am struggling to breathe.
Well, hold on. If this ship is seizing, should we call a doctor? Bah, bah, bah. All right, I'm going home.
Bye.
Are you recording right now? Okay, cool. Simmons. Hey, roll me over. Simmons. Hey, guess what? I'm a pickle. I'm Pickle Krog. It's the Salty Boys. And will always love you. And truly, it's not bourbon. And etching.